Welcome to Talk News.
Today's top stories include 9 people are rescued from the flooded Chinese mine, 4 people killed in an LA restaurant, and female researchers are paid less than males. First, over to Kristen for the weather.
Thanks, Kayla. This week is the hottest of the month, with Sunday through Wednesday in the mid-70s, Thursdays in the 80s, and Friday and Saturdays 75 degrees. Back to you, Kayla.
Thanks, Kristen.
9 miners were pulled to safety early Monday after spending more than a week trapped in a flooded coal mine in northern China. The 9 men, among 153 trapped since March 28, were wrapped in blankets, placed in an ambulance, and rushed to the hospital where teams of doctors and nurses had been standing for several days.
China Central Television said more people in the Wang Jialing mine could still be alive but not give any details. The 9 had been trapped since workers broke a wall into a water-filled abandoned shaft, flooding the mine in Shanxi province in northern China. About 3,000 people have worked around the clock since then to pump out the water.
A glimmer of hope emerged Friday when rescuers heard knocking on a pipe that had been drilled into the mine. But no sounds were heard after, as workers frantically pumped water out and sent divers into the mine to scout conditions.
Finally, at 40 minutes past midnight Monday, the first survivor was brought to the surface. A crowd of people outside the entrance of the mine shaft clapped as the miners were carried out.
CCTV did not say how many other survivors there may be. The official Zhao News agency reported that swaying lamp lights were seen at the other side of a V-shaped shaft in the mine.
It said the bottom of the V-shaped shaft had emerged as the water level fell. A preliminary investigation last week found that the mine's managers ignored water leaks before the accident, the State Administration of Work Safety said. China's coal mines are the world's deadliest. Accidents killed 2,631 coal miners in China last year, down from 6,995 deaths in 2002. The most dangerous year on record, according to the State Administration of Coal Mine Safety. Los Angeles police were searching Sunday for at least 1 gunman who killed 4 people and wounded 2 others at a San Fernando Valley restaurant. Investigators believe the victims in Saturday's shooting at the Hotspot Cafe in Valley Village were targeted, said Deputy Chief Kirk Albanese.
We don't have a crazed gunman running around North Hollywood that presents an immediate threat to public safety to anyone in their homes or business areas. However, this is also not a random act of violence. This was an intentional act.
The Hotspot Cafe, a Mediterranean restaurant on Riverside Drive, was filled with customers when gunfire erupted around 4:40 p.m. Saturday, police said. 3 men died at the scene and another later died at a hospital. 2 other people were wounded and expected to survive.
Investigators were trying to determine how many shooters there were and whether the gunman walked into the restaurant or was already inside when the shooting began. A motive for the attack was unknown. The names of the shooting victims were not immediately released. Police said all were men between 20 and 25 years old.
Nearby residents told the Daily News the cafe often seems strangely empty.
This place is shady. It opened 5 years ago, and it's always empty and closed.
There's always people outside talking, but never eating.
Let's go, follow me outside. And I know it won't be long till I'm holding your hips tight. I know you want to.
Before going to Valley Fitness, I was out of shape and just wasn't confident with my body. But after going, I feel great and I'm confident wearing a bikini to the beach.
Before I went to Valley Fitness, I was a size 14. Now, I'm a size 4.
sciences research still earn less than male counterparts, with no obvious explanation for this disparity, researchers found.
After accounting for professional characteristics and publication volume, female researchers earned on an average of $13,228 less per year than men, according to Catherine DeRoches of Harvard and Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston and colleagues.
The differences range from $6,028 among researchers with PhDs to $14,868 for those housed in departments of medicine. They reported in April issues of Academic Medicine. Even after almost a decade of looking at this issue, with universities really making some good faith efforts to try to make sure this isn't happening, we're still seeing a significant gap in pay between equally qualified men and women. So this is an ongoing issue. It's not something that a university can put a quick fix in place for. It's something that they need to monitor over time.
Previous studies that have identified gender disparities in compensation were based on decades-old data and were unable to adjust for research productivity and the number of hours worked, according to DeRoches.
To update the literature, she and her colleagues surveyed life sciences researchers at the 50 universities whose medical schools received the greatest amount of research funding from the NIH in 2004. Questions revolved around professional activities and salary. About 3/4 responded for a final sample of 2,168 researchers with an academic rank of assistant professor or higher.
The respondents were predominantly male and white. Fewer of the women were full professors. The findings indicate gender differences in the professional roles occupied throughout the respondents' career. Among full professors, women reported greater numbers of hours worked per week, 60.9 versus 56.8.
The difference was largely explained by more hours spent per week on administrative tasks, 13.7 for women versus 10.4 for men, and other professional activities. Female professors were more likely to report participation in 5 of 9 professional services activities, including serving as a university administrator, member of a federal review panel, journal editor or editorial board member, chair of a university-wide committee, and officer of a professional association.
This increased time spent in non-research activities might help explain the decreased productivity among female facility members of all ranks after accounting for demographic and professional characteristics. Male professors had a median of 100 published papers compared with a median of 84 for female professors.
The lower salaries for female researchers were consistent for all levels of facility after adjustment for professional characteristics and productivity. The annual difference was a $21,600 for assistant professor, $8,500 for associate professors, and $13,700 for full professors.
DeRoches said the analyst was not able to identify the source of the disparities. She and her colleagues wrote in their paper,
As elsewhere in their society, these discrepancies could reflect historical practices, perhaps including sexist or otherwise disparaging attitudes about the contributions of women scientists. Or they may reflect the different choices made by female researchers.
they conclude,
Compensation and advancement policy should recognize and reward the full scope of roles that women researchers play as they advance in their careers and contribute to life sciences researches. Thanks for watching today's Talk News. Join us next time when we uncover a story